The next question is the real juicy one that I think most fans are wanting to cover. Steve, you'll probably expect this one, the side angle.
Yes guys, we're here at China Smash, the biggest and most talked about table tennis event in China. This place is insane. So we've got two crazy arenas. We've got the Smash Arena and the Infinity Arena that we're in now, which houses up to 5,000 people. There's been some crazy matches here. And in this video, we're gonna be talking to the man behind it all, the CEO of WTT, Steve Dainton. So we've got a lot of questions that are on your mind that we're gonna ask him. Also at this event, the GOAT of table tennis is here, Marlon. I mean, we've been backstage, checking him out in training. Check out this footage. So there was the GOAT in training. Stay tuned for more epic videos we'll be releasing soon. Okay, so let's jump into the podcast room and see what Steve had to say about WTT.
The next question is the real juicy one that I think most fans are wanting to cover. Steve, you'll probably expect this one, the side angle. Obviously the cameras and the setup, it gets a lot of, I won't say hate, but maybe there's a lot of people who are not too keen on the side angle. Controversy, yeah. And, yeah, we had a question again from Yogesh. What's the thoughts with the side angle? Is it something that's going to stay? Maybe a mixture? What's the thoughts on it? Why was it maybe chosen?
A good question. I mean, it's a very subjective topic,
Absolutely,
to be honest. And whenever we've gone and done our own kind of surveying and asking, you get a very mixed bag. So, it's 50-50 probably. But of course, when you've had something broadcast in that way, like we did from the back angle for so many years, you get used to it, and people like it. So when we made the change, World Table Tennis, we wanted to be dynamic, modern, fresh, new in everything that we do, and we thought that the side camera could be a way to do that. We probably need to be a little bit better at some of our other angles as well, just so we can mix it in and get some of those traditional shots, so that we don't lose those fans as well. But I think it was more about that, being modern, new, fresh, something different, and I think it's got its strengths and it's got its weaknesses, but it's a very subjective one. Some love it and some don't like it.
So let's say the Infinity Arena is using the multi-angles, so the side angle will be there and it will go to the other angles, close-ups, etc. I think it's when, let's say in some WTT events, when there's a live stream on YouTube and there's table 14 and it is just the side angle, and maybe if there could be an option, maybe to or even have two running on the, because I know it's difficult, we live stream stuff as well, and it's very hard to set up a two camera setup on every table, but maybe that could be something, because obviously when people tune in, it will just be the side angle for the whole duration of the match, and I think that's where people struggle with.
As you say, I think for the main court now, it's pretty good, and you get all those different angles and able to see the view from different perspectives. But next step for us will be to upgrade the other courts as well. So it's not just that one side, or there's a couple of cameras and so forth. And it does suck when I'm watching and you see the player go out of the image and those kind of things. You really want to see what they're doing, and then you only see the ball flying, and some stuff for us to still fix there for sure.
So it's cool that like you said, you recognise that and you've seen that yourself.
That kind of brings me on to a point that I wanted to raise actually, was if you feel possibly that WTT are maybe hurting themselves in producing so much live content on YouTube in particular, because it seems like the youth contenders, the feeders, the champions, everything is streamed. And I wonder if there's almost an argument for quantity over quality. And if someone who isn't a table tennis fan maybe saw it in Paris and went, oh, I'll check out World Table Tennis, what's this? Oh, they're live now, they click it, they open it. And what if they saw this? Completely different product to seeing maybe a star contender somewhere around the world.
I do think once that brand and product is much more defined and regular, then we will hopefully naturally overcome that. But I take it into account. Maybe there's something to do that we should ourselves be pushing out, watch the Infinity Arena, and that's when you really go to watch the great stuff. Or now it's like the youth event, but a youth event is not so commercial actually at the end of the day. So maybe there is some tweaking there for us to do.
And it is also, I mean, on the flip side of the coin, it's fantastic that we're streaming every tournament.
That you can watch it all,
So I kind of get the argument from both sides.
There could be a secondary channel, like, okay, in a lot of YouTubers, they have their main channel, like Mr. Beast, and he floods his key videos, which get 200 million views every video. But then he has
that's like the Smashes.
Yeah, that's like the Smashes. And he has he's like 7 other channels, his gaming channel for a certain market. He has his food market, and so then it doesn't dilute, and maybe that could be something that WTT look into potentially. Is like, so then there's different tiers.
A bit like Table Tennis Daily, and now we're on the Table Tennis Daily podcast, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
This
so then it's a better way, because then you're connecting to different audience who want to tune into that, and then when the mainstream person comes in, let's check out some table tennis, and they will get hit by the smash events. I don't know. It's an interesting point, because these smash events are so good.
And like Steve said, it is going to trickle down, and things are going to get better. And
then those next events will get bigger as well, right? The money will trickle down, and then those other events will start pushing up as well, right? Because that's what it's got to get to.
We may need to hire you guys as consultants.
We're open to discussion.
But we have still a lot of space for improvement. I mean, there's a lot of things we can still do better. And as I say, we're just getting started. We're still in this kind of like, I would say, starting period where we're still learning about what's working, what doesn't work. So, happy to get all the feedback and see what we can do better.
Another question we've had sent through on Instagram, Steve, is players. Some people have been saying that players are forced to play events, and they've got mandatory entry, and they've got to turn up to all these things, and it's not fair. And so we just wanted to kind of get your insights a bit more into what is the structure of players having to turn up to events, and how does it kind of work?
I think it's a great question, and I'm really glad that it came up, because I think it's an important topic to talk about. From our perspective, of course, we hope that the best players will play in all of it. But this is it's a virtuous cycle in terms of how sports and business works. At the end of the day, for us to be able to grow the event, to bring in more revenues, to increase the prize money, we must have the best players there.
Yeah.
It's really as simple as that. We can't go to sponsors, we can't go to TV broadcasters, we can't tell our fans that maybe the best players will come. Maybe. We can't do it.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all. They want to see the best of the best, especially for those top events. We could question if there's too many events. That could be a question. If it's too much pressure, there's too much on the players' backs in terms of the pressure that they have to continually improve week in and week out. This is let's say the balance we've got to find between how much is too much for the players, yet how are we going to grow the business? Because we want that prize money to go up. We want to be able to offer much more prize money.
And ultimately, so do the players, obviously,
I was going to say, I think one thing that happens with players, and table tennis is a hard sport, it's very physically demanding now. It's changed a lot, especially since the plastic ball. Players are now having to put more effort in generally. And a lot of players' salary as well comes from the league matches around the world. And I know there's a tricky thing there. So like, let's say, for example, the club is going, right, you need to play this match, and they're like, oh no, but I've got to go to this event, and it's in China or wherever, and I'm going to have 4 days recovery, jet lag, etc. And so I guess it's quite hard for players sometimes to balance that, where you've got like this salary with the club, and then you've got the big events as well.
Well, it's interesting though, because if you compare the male and the female side, it's very different on the female side. So from the female side now, they're really loving world table tennis because it becomes the majority of their revenue and their income. Sure. Those top 32 players, for example, are getting much more revenue and income from playing that than they would in any of the the leagues that exist. We've taken big jumps in terms of prize money, but we know that we're not there yet in having enough money that the players can think that they're going to be their regular life. But that's also our challenge. That's what we're looking for to try and improve. But at the same time, we know that the leagues are an important part of the table tennis ecosystem. We're not here to cause any problems for them. We're not even really trying to compete with the leagues, to be honest.
It is quite a different thing, isn't it, really?
And also those leagues are there, and they're actually helping create these world-class players as well, right? Let's say a young kid in France. New Felix Lebrun is in France. He wants to play Pro B in France, gets Pro A before he knows he's on the national team, and then he's going to WTT events. So there is a real pathway there.
Absolutely.
Is there an official kind of liaison between WTT and the players, or is there like a union? How does that work?
Good question. Actually, we've had a player relations director for a few years. She's trying to help us link up between players and so forth. There's still a lot more we can do to have more engagement and so forth. But of course, also the ITTF has an athletes commission, which Kamal Achanta and Lucia Wen lead from the ITTF side, and we continually have dialogue with them about the rules, the regulations, what we can do. We had Kamal in Singapore actually last week to discuss, what's 2025 going to look like? What are some of the rules we can adjust so that we can take a bit of heat and pressure off or improve? But also for him to understand from our side what we're actually trying to do in terms of growing the business, growing prize money and so forth. So we have a better mutual understanding.
So guys, if you want to watch the full podcast with Steve Dainton, head over to the Table Tennis Daily Cast YouTube channel in the links in the description, where you can hear Steve talk about many other topics focused on WTT and the table tennis world. As always guys, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos here on Table Tennis Daily. Thanks for watching.